Thanks for tuning in to Electric Bike Journal. Today we're taking a look at this trail-ready hardtail eMTB, ready to get out there, take you on some adventures, but versatile enough to maybe be your next commuter. Today we're talking about the Trek Marlin Plus. This is just one of two models that they have available, starting at $26.99 and working their way up to $34.99 for the model we have here. So we're going to talk about the specs and what you're getting when you buy a bike from Trek, but also share with you our ride impressions and why we think this bike is an absolute blast and more people should be taking a look at it. Well, if you're interested in the Marlin Plus or really any bike from Trek, it's important to know what it looks like to buy into their ecosystem. Well, really there's three main things that Trek wants people to know is that they'll take care of you, period. And as a brand, their goal is to take care of their customers, take care of those riders, to really make sure that they are getting a bike that is going to perform and do what it needs to do. And if anything goes wrong, they're there for you to help warranty or replace and do whatever they got to do to get you back out on the trails. It's important to recognize the amount of bike shops that are Trek dealers and Trek mechanics, not just in the country, but across the planet. There are a bike shop in almost every town that sells Trek bikes, and those mechanics that work there are professional mechanics, and when you buy a bike from them, you're getting a bike fully assembled, fully tuned, ready to go, set up for you. And it really cuts out that whole hassle and headache of having to unpack a box at your house and not having the right tools, and what if this is broken or bent, or I need to tune this. If you don't have that knowledge or ability to do that, being able to go through a bike shop really is a major reason and a part of that extra price that you're paying for when you're buying a bike from a legacy brand. And lastly, of that big three is the 30-day guarantee. If anything were to go wrong, maybe it's not the right size, anything that leads you to not be satisfied, they're there for you and they want to make sure that you're taken care of. So again, those three things really are very important and significant to remember when it comes to buying a bike from an established brand. Not only are you getting those things taken care of in a brand that cares, you're also getting the UL certification, the engineers, the warranties, everything else that comes with a big company and the years in the industry to be able to support riders year after year after year. So with that said, let's talk about the specs of the Marlin Plus. Well, there are two different versions of the Marlin Plus. There's the Marlin Plus 6 and the Marlin Plus 8, which is what we have here. The 6 will start at $26.99 and the 8 comes in at $34.99. Now these are both aluminum frame hardtail mountain bikes, size extra small, and small will sit on 27.5-inch wheels, where medium through extra large will fit 29-inch wheels. And from that, you could probably tell that they have a size range from extra small up to extra large. So there's a lot of changes that happen in that frame design and geometry to accommodate riders at a lot of different heights and tighter windows of heights as well. So really you could find a very good fit without having to go for that general one-size-fits-all. This is a Class 1 electric mountain bike, so it has the most sanctioned approval to be able to be ridden in the most trail areas. Class 1 is just the most accommodated class rating for electric mountain bikes. So it's nice that you don't have to worry about buying this and not being able to ride it places because it's a Class 2 or a Class 3 bike. Trek uses a Bosch drive system on the Marlin Plus. This one has the Active Line Plus drive system, which is a 250-watt motor with 50 Newton meters of torque, so a lot of power, and in my mind, a lot of torque to get you up the steepest of hills. This Active Line Plus is part of the new generation of drive units from Bosch, drive units that we're really enjoying on all the different bikes that we're testing. It has the Purion 200 display, which is the new display controller remote located up on the handlebars. It's a very simple display screen on there that gives you your generic readouts, but it is compatible with Bluetooth devices, and there is an app that you can use to pair and be able to do tuning and customization on to the different pedal assist modes, of which there are 4 different pedal assist modes: Eco, Tour, auto and turbo. I personally really enjoy the new auto mode that they have with the new Bosch drive systems. It kind of gives you the best of from eco all the way up to turbo, and helps manage the amount of power you need on the go. You know, it's taking 1,000 readings every second, if not more, to be able to compute how much power you need and what you're putting into the bike to be able to match you the best way possible. But with eco mode, you can get a lot more range. You'll just be a little bit lesser in the power delivery, all of which is tunable within that app to customize each different mode to get the most perfect settings that you need for you. Integrated into the down tube of the Marlin Plus is a 400 watt-hour battery. This is the compact tube Bosch battery located in there, so all of these things work really well in the system. Now 400 watt-hours is a little bit small for electric mountain bike unless we're getting into the SL range of eMTBs. Fortunately, this is compatible with the range extender, so there is an additional battery you can purchase, a 250 watt-hour battery, and you can mount that to a bottle cage mount and be able to plug that into the bike to extend your range and get a total of 650 watt-hours, which is what we're seeing in a lot of the full-size electric mountain bikes on the market. Up front on the Marlin Plus 8, which we have, is a RockShox Recon Silver front fork. It's 120 millimeters of travel, uses a through axle, and has a lockout located on the right side of the fork tube, so you can lock that out for climbing, and it is an air shock, so you can adjust your air pressures for your rider weight. It has Shimano MT 4100 hydraulic disc brakes, so those are 4-piston hydraulic disc brakes with 203 millimeter rotors, which is amazing while riding. Plenty of quality stopping power when you need it, and when you're riding a hardtail and maybe you're geared up with a bunch of stuff, having those large rotors on there is definitely making control and managing that bike a lot nicer. And for drivetrain, it has a Shimano Dior 12-speed. The Marlin Plus comes with a dropper post, which for us is essential in having a quality experience while mountain biking. Being able to get that seat out of the way while you're charging downhill is very nice to be able to take advantage of the aggressive geometry that Trek has built with the Marlin. It is notable that the Marlin and the Marlin Plus both are aggressive, sporty, playful hardtail mountain bikes. These aren't cross-country bikes. These are designed to have fun and enjoy yourself out in the woods while you're riding on trails. But it does strike a happy balance between being aggressive and playful and also being functional and versatile for other types of uses. And what's cool about the Marlin Plus is that they have integrated mounts onto there and have engineered and designed accessory racks to go on this bike to expand the versatility and options you can do with the Marlin Plus. It doesn't have to be an exclusive mountain bike. You can put racks on it and turn this into a bike packing or trekking bike if you're looking to do stuff that involves bringing more gear with you, maybe going out overnight. And if you get that range extender, you have the option to get even more range out of it to really make those adventures longer and sustained and have a lot more fun on the bike. These Gunnison Pro 2.6-inch wide tires are fantastic trail tires and really a great tire on this bike for mountain biking. But if you were looking to commute on it, along with those fenders, we would probably encourage you to check out some tires that are just going to be a little bit more favorable in mixed use riding. Well, who do we think the Marlin Plus is for? Well, first off, it's people looking to get back into mountain biking or maybe get into mountain biking for the first time, and they want to do so from an electric mountain bike. A full suspension electric mountain bike might be intimidating or just too much bike for the average person, and that's where a bike like the Marlin Plus is really an exciting bike to consider, an exciting bike to think about. Specifically for those people looking to get into the sport, they're able to go into a bike shop, talk to knowledgeable people, learn a lot, and walk out of there with a bike that can be set up for them, ready to go. And as things come along, months and months later, and they need some service and tuning, they can go back to that shop. So they're able to get that network and relationship from what Trek has to offer. Beyond that entry-level rider and someone looking to get into mountain biking, we have to think about someone looking for a mixed use, a very versatile bike, kind of a Swiss Army knife, a do-it-all sort of bike. And that's how we've been treating the Marlin Plus. Being able to take it out for trail rides and go enjoy the green and blue trails that are a little bit more groomed and flowy, and have a good time mountain biking and getting a lot of miles in, but not necessarily looking to push it hard and do the downhill, really aggressive trails, and also putting a rack on there and going out with some gear to go fishing and just really more so explore on fire roads and be able to go camping overnight, or turn around and ride to the coffee shop and go get some groceries on it, ride it to work. Being able to use a bike like this that has intelligent mounts for carrying gear is something that is not always provided on a full dedicated mountain bike. It is really great to see that they included that as an option on this bike, and I think that really speaks to the versatility of where the Marlin Plus sits. So what are some things I like about the Marlin Plus and some areas of improvement that I can see in the future? I definitely think it has a fun geometry. This bike's a lot of fun to ride and has you in a good trail ready posture, not just for climbing and going uphill, but also for getting that seat out of the way and descending. Not everyone has the same type of trails locally, and again, this favors that entry-level rider. But even as an avid mountain biker, I've had a lot of fun riding this bike and definitely ridden it in some pretty aggressive areas, down some very steep, loose chutes, where most people would want a full suspension bike. But again, if that's intimidating, you don't want full suspension, there's a lot of capacity and a lot of places you can push this bike to go. But for most riders, I think that those green and blue trails, the riding posture, where you sit on this bike, is really fun and allows you to really progress your skills in a very comfortable, safe way. So what are some areas of improvement for the Marlin Plus? Definitely starts with that battery size. I think a 400 watt-hour battery is just a little bit too small for an eMTB, and since it doesn't really shave weight, and this bike still kind of comes in at that 50-pound mark, the Trek rail with a bigger battery, full suspension, weighs about the same. So I don't think it plays into the weight decision, and it might just be an overall effort to keep costs lower. But fortunately, there is a solution. You know, you can get that 250 watt-hour battery. It does add a few pounds, but that puts you up into that 650 watt-hour range, which is a much more kind of safe buffer zone to want to take this out riding for all-day rides and not have to worry about charging it first thing when you get back. You know, you can wait till the next day or wait till after the second ride. I really do like this new Bosch drive system. I really do like the new generation of Bosch drive systems. I will say that the Active Line Plus, for myself, having a lot of experience riding the Performance Line drive units and the CX drive unit, this Active Line Plus definitely is noticeably underpowered compared to those. So when you are riding with other people, you do notice yourself kind of drifting off the back a little bit unless you're on equally matched bikes. But when you're by yourself, I didn't notice it at all. Going out and doing rides by myself, I didn't find myself looking for more power. It was only when I was in the pressure of other people around that were using full turbo and boost and like racing uphill that I definitely noticed this one tapering off in the back and just not being able to keep up. All in all, the Marlin Plus really has been a blast to ride, and it's included in our hardtail roundup this year, where we kind of compared it with a few other hardtail eMTBs on the market that are under that $4,000 price point. And for myself, with the ones that we were riding, this definitely was the bike that I chose to ride. But as a whole, the Trek Marlin Plus is a really rad bike and a really cool bike to be offered in the hardtail eMTB category. I think for a lot of people that aren't looking to get crazy aggressive in their mountain biking and kind of want to do it all bike, something they can ride at, you know, around the campgrounds and take it out on trails, but also ride it to the market and on their leisure Saturday mornings with the family. It's a very cool and capable bike that has plenty of power and plenty of battery life that makes getting back out onto a bike for the first time or extending the amount of miles you're looking to get that much easier. Well, thanks for watching our review on the Marlin Plus. Be sure to check out that hardtail roundup video if you haven't, and leave a comment down below. We want to hear your thoughts about the Marlin Plus. What would you do if you rode this bike? Would you get this bike? What do you think of hardtail eMTBs as a whole? World's your oyster. Leave a comment down below. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next one.